That's the way it looks today. It's uneven complexion, kind of a little bit uneven, bumpy, thin looking sides, an overall big head, slender body. Tell me this fish does not eat enough. When we have glass minnows, I think this is probably the only thing it eats well, the glass minnows, because they're little, like about 2 inches long and skinny and slimy, and it eats them rather well. I don't know well if it's well, but at least better than the pellets and the cut fish. The pellets, it's funny. I mean, once in a while it can take several giant NLS pellets as soon as I throw them in. And then for the next 10 feedings it doesn't touch them. And when I throw in thawed herring, which we cut up, if anything hangs out of the piece, like an intestine or a bone or a piece of flesh, it takes in its mouth and it's doing this chewing, sucking motion on it endlessly, and eventually, I mean, I don't know, I never had enough patience to look what happens at the end. It probably just drops it. And even that is not regular. Once in a while it just comes up and noses the food and doesn't take anything. So that's why this is another problem, another fish that we're having problem feeding properly. I can probably try and give it some leafy greens like lettuce and see what happens, and also insects and see what happens. As I just read you from the fish base, it is known to feed on leafy plants, phytoplankton and insects. And now it shares the tank with a couple of bullheads, long catfish, Florida gar, and a tilapia. Just an odd group altogether. It's got a pronounced overbite. Its upper lip is longer than the lower lip or jaw. In terms of the body shape and the fin shape, it is reminiscent of labeo structure. So it is obviously related to labeo, and that's why it's called labeon group of fish. As I said, it was feeding off of the slime of a lot of carp in the previous tank, in the 25,000 gallons. And I was worried that in this tank it would do the same to the lungfish and to the bullheads and to the gar, but it's not doing it. It's not doing it to them. So that's also an interesting and unexpected observation, that it has a preference only for the carp and sturgeon slime. It doesn't care for the slime from other fish, even though it's obviously should be oftentimes hungry. Well, that probably finishes our 2 video report.